a bright sunny day, and it's a bright day for Peterborough when Daryl Bennett is elected mayor, 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 is elected mayor.
And that is a concern for people, their welfare, their well-being, their hopes, and their dreams.
Yes.
And desires. That Bennett guy, he's a businessman. He knows business, but that's all, nothing else. Just business. This great city has a wonderful tradition of providing caring and compassionate support to all of its people. And I intend to maintain that tradition. In fact, I intend to improve on it. I want to set as a primary goal, as lofty as it may be, that no member of the Peterborough family will be left behind. All of the taxpayers and all the residents of this city are our customers, and they will be treated like that. Second, we need to be more active and more successful in our management of homelessness and street transiency. There is perception that homelessness is growing in Peterborough along with an increase in panhandling. It pains me to see a person living rough on the streets or in the parks. For most of us, it appears to be a manner of living that is a million miles removed from our own, but it is not. To tear down the organizational silos that divide and build instead the community bridges that connect. There are currently 25 seniors in this region, and that number is expected to double in only 20 to 25 years. I will be proposing to council that we improve both the supply and the standard of our sports and recreation facilities. Gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. To remind you that a city is what it is. Phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city
I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that
I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is to remind you that a city is what it is. To remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is. I will gladly borrow a phrase from Plato to remind you that a city is what it is.
Thank you.